Hi, I'm Chad with Move Forward Guitar. This lesson is from our course Music Theory 1. All the lessons for this course are free on our YouTube channel, so you can follow right along with the playlist, or you can look in the description below for links to the rest of the lessons. To accelerate your learning though, I highly recommend that you download the corresponding workbook and eGuide. To learn more about the workbook and eGuide, click the link on the screen or look in the description below. Welcome to Music Theory 1, Lesson 9. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about chords. So now that you know about intervals and scales, it's time to learn about chords. And I'm sure you already play a lot of chords, probably at least open chords, like your basic G major, C major, D major, E minor, A minor, and so on. If you play guitar at all, those would be the first chords you learn. And I'm assuming if you're taking theory lessons that you already play at least a little bit of guitar, so I'm assuming you know those chords. But now in these lessons, I'm going to explain the theory behind chords and actually dive into them and explain what's going on. And like I mentioned in a previous lesson, chords are harmony. And harmony is just two or more notes played or sung at the same time. And a basic chord is made up of three notes. So three notes played together as harmony makes up a chord. For example, the basic open G major that I just played a second ago that I'm assuming you know, it's just made up of three notes. It's made up of G, B, and D. It's just in this voicing that I'm holding, the shape that I'm holding, some of those notes are repeated. So in this chord shape you have G, you have B, then your open string is D, then the next open string is G, and then under your third finger is another D, and under your fourth finger is another G. So you can see it's just G, B, and D, except some of those notes are doubled up. So it's just a basic chord. Or you could have more complex chords. You could have a chord like this, which is called a C major 9, and that would be a C, an E, a B, and a D. So this actually has four notes being played in it. None of those notes are doubled up, like with the G major chord. So again, chords are just made up of three or more notes played at the same time. And like I mentioned in the last lesson, chords come straight out of scales. So I'm going to dive back to the charts and explain what I'm talking about. So if we take, for example, a G major scale, which again, you just make G your tonic, that's your starting note, and you have whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. That's how we get the G major scale. And then you just repeat that all over the fretboard, which are the notes G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. You'll be able to see how those chords that I just showed you, the G major, C major, D major, A minor, E minor, come straight out of the G major scale. So for example, I'm going to take away all the red notes just to make this easier to visualize. I showed this one earlier, but if I circle right here, that's just your basic open G major chord. And it'll be a little easier if I turned it like this. That's probably a shape you've seen many times on chord charts if you play chords, if you've been playing guitar for any amount of time. So that shape right there came right out of the G major scale. You can just see it right there. It's just turned on its side. It's just turned upside down right now. And then if I flip it up this way to show you on the other diagram, you can see it like that. Or another chord that comes right out of the G major scale is C major, and that one's right here. Then if I flip that up, you can see that's just a normal C major shape, open C major chord. Or there's A minor, that one comes out right here. That's your open A minor shape. Or we can get an E minor out of the G major scale. And so on. There's more chords we could get out of the G major scale, but those are the basic chords Those are some of the most basic open chords that you probably play already. Or I could do it with another scale. I could take the A major scale and I could find different chords. So here's the A major scale on one string, put it on the whole fretboard. I could just start circling chords that come straight out of the A major scale. For example, A major comes right out of the A major scale, which is right there. There's your A major chord, your basic A major open chord. Or E major comes right out of the A major scale. There's your basic open E major chord. So hopefully you can see how these chord shapes are coming right out of the major scale. And again, we're going to dive really deep into this stuff as we go through these series. But for now, it's really just important to understand what chords are and that they're just 3 or more notes harmonized together. And those notes that make up the chord are just coming straight out of a scale. And most of the chords you probably play are coming straight out of the major scales. And again, in the upcoming lessons, I'll really show you how to build chords, how to build specific chords, what's actually going on to create these shapes and all of that. For now, I just want to give you the basics and the basic understanding of what chords are. So that's an explanation of chords. In the next lesson, I'm going to talk about the tonic, keys, and root notes. Look in the Music Theory 1 workbook for step-by-step guidance on how to retain this information and what to do next. And remember, all the charts and diagrams are in the Music Theory 1 eGuide for you to reference anytime.